Hey, morning, folks. Welcome to the briefing on Tuesday the 10th. Looks like a fairly nice day in prospect. Far fewer, in fact, no showers forecast at all compared to yesterday. And as you can see from the chart, almost, if you're optimistic, a little ridge of high pressure building there. A very small, faint ridge just out to the west of us, quieting things down quite a bit. Pressure's gone back up 1016. And the isobars are reasonably well spaced apart, so fairly light winds for the day. And the TAFs, not really saying a lot when you've just got one short line. They're just telling you sometime between sort of 7 and 10 this morning, it'll become scattered at 2,000 feet, and it's heading that way fairly quickly anyway. And slightly reduced visibility this morning until it starts to clear up a little bit. So apart from that, it's just looking at the wind, 250, 6 knots. So light west southwesterly, and the upper winds are westerly mainly, 270, 260 across here, so pretty much westerly across us at flying heights, 10 knots, so not strong. And you can see even the upper winds at 25,000 feet are only 35 knots, not particularly strong. Sat pic shows some of that cloud burning off just at the moment, and this is the low stuff we had here that's starting to break up now already, burn off fairly quickly. There's a moist layer at around up to 1,000 to 1,500 feet, and that'll break up and dry out fairly quickly. Temperatures are going to rise quite nicely, and I think probably average for this time of year is 22 degrees. So it's probably a little bit less than that. I'm working on sort of 20 in and around here in the sort of area that looks like our task area, 20, 21. And dew points, it's quite dry air mass, so they'll go down fairly quickly. They'll be down around 10, maybe 9 for most of the day. And sort of playing with those sort of numbers, you can plug in some figures. So by 1 o'clock, what I think we're going to see, and though the lines are fairly well spaced apart here, you follow the dew points line from about 10, it gives you cloud base about 3,500 feet here, cloud tops about 5. And that's around here at about 1 o'clock. So brewing up quite nicely through the day. 3 o'clock shows lines close together, a little bit more chance of spread out, I think. And that's going to come and go in places throughout the day. And again, cloud base should be probably 3,500 to 4,000 feet above Lasham by mid to late afternoon. Looking further north, Bicester, Buckingham area, late afternoon, 4,000 feet, maybe even 4.5 above sea level. If it goes to 21, 22 degrees, tops again about 5. It's quite unstable up through here, and the actual ascent shows that there's a level of instability up through here. But I think it's just enough to keep a lid on it in places, so it won't be like yesterday where it really went out of hand. You can see on this actual Lark Hill, the moisture down here, the low cloud, but then in the area around here, the sort of 2,000 to 6,000 feet area, it's quite dry, so small amounts of cumulus, but chance of spread out in places. Top Meteo picking up the same sort of theme, cloud burning off by 10 o'clock, and then we'll start to see cumulus developing. They even pick up on what we quite often see, Lasham in a blue hole and cumulus elsewhere. But that's by 12, sort of 1 o'clock cumulus. They're showing little bits of spread out, especially across the Midlands area, but should be good out to the west and up into Cambridgeshire, where the best sort of temperatures are predicted for today. And then by the afternoon, again, they're predicting some spread out, but cumulus still there, 2 to 3/8 most of the time, but occasional bits of spread out. I think there's quite dry air in the mid-level, so it won't be too noticeable, the spread out. Thermal heights, sort of by midday, 3,000 feet, there's 1,000 meters in here, 1,100 up towards Cambridgeshire. And then by sort of 3 o'clock, they're talking about 1,500 meters in here. That's 4,500 feet, and the same up into Cambridgeshire. I've plugged in the numbers. I can only really get about 4. So if it does get better than that, well, it's a bonus, folks. And then it should go on till sort of 6 o'clock this evening, I would have thought. Nothing particularly to wipe it out. Light winds, so we're going to see some form of sea breeze starting to show itself mid to late afternoon. I suspect we can see it to the south, but I doubt it will roll through here. So reasonable day. We're operating on 2.7 for the day. No jet movements that I know of. I'll find out if there's any Navajo movements. I'm sure sometime during the day. So it'll be on the main runway all day. If we get enough people, we'll have a grid on the north side. After yesterday, I suspect the grass is fairly soft, so we'll decide whether we have to use the booms to tow out or whether we can get away with towing on the grass. And have a look at that in a minute. And airspace-wise, it's actually not a lot going on. The Salisbury Plain danger area, the temporary danger area, has disappeared. I've looked at a number of NOTAM charts, and one of them has some parachuting over Carterton, which is near Bryce Norton. It's basically above the top of the airspace, up to 6,000 feet. Parachute jumps from 1 o'clock till 2 o'clock. Don't know why it's not showed up on this one, but all the rest are the usual things that are going on. Comps at Husbos and Gransden Lodge. So there will be lots of gliders, I suspect, around this area here. Tasking wise, I think, out to the west and then into East Anglia would be the optimum direction today. That's what Top Meteo are certainly suggesting. So it says good for 300 Ks. I would have thought that's about right. Tomorrow's looking reasonable as well, and possibly Thursday. So should be a sort of semi-okay run of weather, folks. Right, hopefully see you out there at some point during the day.